Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to Midday Cabaret, and we're coming to you live from the Broadway Rose new stage. My name is Dan Murphy, and I'll be your host, and I am the managing director here at the Broadway Rose. We do want to give a shout out to our title corporate sponsor, Pearson Financial. They have been with us for almost 25 of our 29 years. So we really appreciate all that Conrad Pearson, Bonnie Conger, and everybody over at Pearson Financial does for the Broadway Rose over these many, many, many years. We're so excited to be coming to you on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock for this Midday Cabaret. So we'll hope you'll mark it off on your calendar. And if you're not able to, of course, they rerun it later. So we look forward to having you share it with all of your friends and watch it over and over and over again as we bring to you a lot of the Broadway Rose alumni, some from more recent shows that you would have seen, and then we're going to dip way back for people that have been with us when we first started, which will be very exciting. So you want to stay tuned every week to see who's coming on. Now, this week, we are so excited to have with us a trained pianist from Wisconsin. And he has been here in Portland now for a number of years. He's an actor, a musician, a sketch artist, a comedian, a sketch artist. I don't think he does any drawing. I think he does caricatures on the side. No, he does sketch comedy. And so would you please welcome to Midday Cabaret, Mr. David Saffert.
It's so nice to finally meet you, Dan.
Right. We're with only the social distancing.
Yeah, I know. So thank you for having me, Dan.
Oh, my pleasure. Hey, how have you been?
I've been fine.
Yeah. What have you been up to? How are you dealing with all this?
What am I doing? Oh, I learned Hindi. I crocheting. You know that there are all these people that are learning hobbies during this time, and that's not me.
Oh. Well, if you pick it up, I'm a 46 regular.
No, honestly, actually things have been a little busy. I've been doing a lot of recording.
Great.
Which has been nice for a church that I play for and a school, and doing some podcasts and live streams and this.
And everything from your house. You really haven't gone anywhere to do it. It's
No,
all
everything has been right here.
Wow.
I mean, the piano, the mics, the camera, everything. Yeah.
Wow.
But you know, the nice thing about it actually is that when I do perform elsewhere, you know, I'm always playing on a piano that I'm more unfamiliar with. And this has been really nice to I know this instrument so well. I've had this for several years. And so it's really cool to record on it and to perform on something that I know exactly how it's going to respond to how I touch it.
Right. And you can wear your pajama bottoms.
These are pants. Do they look like PJs?
No.
But I could wear pajama bottoms.
Yeah. So one of the things that you are probably more famous for than others here in Portland is your Liberace act.
That's correct.
Now, we want to make the distinction that you're not an impersonator. You're a tribute artist to Liberace. Right. So tell me a little bit about that. Well, what's the difference?
For the longest time, I was saying impersonator, you know, someone who does an impression. And then when I went to Vegas to meet with the Liberace Foundation about what I was doing and actually got into the Liberace mansion as well and did some TV episodes there. Actually, the host who interviewed me for those TV episodes was very adamant in calling me a tribute artist as opposed to an impersonator. And he said, especially in Vegas, an impersonator is more like someone, say like on Saturday Night Live, who's doing a very broad stroke of a human being. So I always think of like how, was it Norm Macdonald used to do Bob Dole? And I'm like, and here's some, or Fred Armisen actually does a really funny Liberace, but it's very broad. He's done some research into it, but it's very broad. That's an impersonator to me. A tribute artist is someone who really takes that to some higher levels and studies the voice, the mannerisms, everything that goes with it. So I like to think that I've done enough at this point to be called a tribute artist.
And at times you go ahead and partner with Jillian Snow Harris, who does Liza Minnelli, among other people, but I know you have a Liberace and Liza show. And of course, your musical director for that show extraordinaire is Bo Ayers.
That's correct.
And he was Liberace's musical director for 13 years in Vegas and everywhere else. So that's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. Well, we were fortunate enough to have your show here at the Broadway Rose in 2018 when you did a Mother's Day weekend with us, and then you did a Christmas weekend with us. So we were just thrilled. Where did it all start? Did you wake up one day and go, God, Liberace, he's my guy?
Never. Never. I had seen Jillian Snow Harris perform as Liza. And at the time I was doing my own variety shows at Curious Comedy Theater. And I wanted Jillian to be in that show playing Liza. And then I had another friend, my friend Sam Hawkins, did a really funny Truman Capote impression. And so I wanted him in it too. And then I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Am I just going to sit here as myself? And it was Sam who was like, oh, you should perform as Liberace. And I did not think about how much was going to go into that.
Right.
And I said yes. And he actually made my first ever rhinestone outfit that I wore on your stage. and I learned a couple tunes, got some rings, a candelabra, having no idea that it was ever going to go beyond that.
Right.
You know, it was just going to be like a couple nights. And Bo Ayers showed up to one of the shows, Liberace's actual music director from back in the day, and emailed me and said, I loved it. And I want to help you musically in any way I can, should you want that. And we became a little trio about 6 years ago. And yeah, we performed in Portland. We've been down in San Francisco at Feinstein's at the Nico. We've been up to Calgary. We've been Minnesota, Wisconsin, Washington. You know, clearly nowhere right now. Right now, we kind of focus on, we create fun little videos. We actually just did a Zoom video of Liberace, Liza, and Bo. And so some of those are coming out right now. But that's all we can do right now is, you know, try to give people the essence of what we do. But, you know.
Well, we have Sam Hawkins to thank. So
we do.
That's great. That's great. So we're going to get to a little piano playing now. So this is a cabaret, and I see you brought a piano. So with that, why don't you go ahead and set us up with the number you're going to perform for us?
All right. I wanted to play the tunes. Two of the tunes I'm going to play today are really to honor Broadway Rose with a couple of the shows that you sadly had to cancel right now. That we won't be seeing them right now. And they're both shows that just have such fabulous music. One, the music of Fats Waller, which was Ain't Misbehavin', and the other, Crazy for You, the music of Gershwin. So the first piece for you is just piano solo. I say just. This is Fats Waller. It's called Keepin' Out of Mischief Now.
Hooray!
Hooray! I finished it.
Hooray! You got through it in one piece. Hey, I want to let our audience know who is viewing it live that we will be taking some questions. So if you have something burning that you want David Saffert to answer or you want to know about him, please feel free to submit them, and then we'll go ahead and see if we have time for catch a few of them. Okay. Wow. So tell me this: do you ever? I mean, obviously, you make your living as a pianist.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just get hours of just joy sitting there and playing, or does it ever seem like a real chore? I would hate that.
It can feel like a real chore.
Oh.
You know, this time we've had at home, I have actually, having less to do, this cabinet behind me. Wait, which way can I show you? This cabinet here is full of music.
Wow.
And these past 6 weeks, it's afforded me some time to go through and look at some of this music that I played in college, like the Chopin, the Beethoven, Mozart in there. And actually, I learned a Chopin Ballade, this 8-minute piece that I'd always wanted to play. I played it for the Artslandia live stream a couple weeks ago. But I never have an opportunity to actually learn something like that. There's always some new piece of music. Right. Not that I don't enjoy learning those new pieces of music, but often for me to really have a passion project like that, that's pretty rare. So lately, yes, I have been enjoying going through this cabinet and looking at some music that I haven't visited in 20 years.
Well, why don't you go ahead and set up this second song you're going to do for us?
Okay. This is what you would have heard in Crazy for You. It's called Slap That Bass. It's one of my favorite Gershwin tunes. And I decided last night I was actually going to sing it, and we'll see how that goes. It's been a while. My high school back in the day, this little high school in Spooner, Wisconsin, put on Crazy for You, and they hired the choreographer from Chanhassen Dinner Theater in Minneapolis, which is a really giant dinner theater. They hired this choreographer, this stellar choreographer, to come to Little Spooner, Wisconsin, about 2,000 people, and choreograph this show. And it's almost like in Crazy for You, where the cowboys are learning to tap and do all these crazy things. That's what happened in my hometown, and it was a joy to watch Slap That Bass, which is a huge tap number. Zoom, 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 zoom. The world is in a mess with politics and taxes and people grinding axes. There's no happiness. Zoom, 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 zoom. Rhythm, lead your ace. Future doesn't fret me if I can only get me someone to slap that bass. Happiness is not a riddle when I'm listening to that big bass fiddle. Slap that bass, slap it till it's dizzy. Slap that bass, keep the rhythm busy. Zoom, 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 misery, you gotta go. Slap that bass, use it like a tonic. Slap that bass, keep your Philharmonic. Zoom, 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 and the milk and honey will flow. Dictators would be better off if they zoom, zoom now and then. Today, you can see that the happiest men all got rhythm. In which case, if you want a bobble, slap that bass, slap away your troubles. Learn to zoom, zoom, zoom. Slap that bass. Dum bum ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum bum. If you're at home, go ahead and do the bass with me. Dan, are you there? Dum 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 da dum dum dum. Yeah, keep that going. I want to play over it. Bum 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 ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum. Bum bum. Bum bum ba dum bum. off if they zoom, zoom now and then. Today you can see the happiest men all got rhythm. Slap that bass, slap it till it's dizzy. Slap that bass, keep the rhythm busy. Learn to zoom, zoom, zoom. Slap that bass.
Boom, boom. But oh, are we done?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you to stop.
No, that's okay. Okay, good.
But
Wow, thank you.
directed.
You know what? Thank you for playing those two tunes from two shows that we will, in fact, not be doing. Thanks for throwing a little salt on the wound as we recover. So now what I'd like to do is head over and talk about Murder for Two. Now, that was a show we had done a couple of years ago, and starring Barney Stein and David Saffert, and David Saffert, and David Saffert, and David Saffert, because you ended up playing 11 characters, having never left the stage.
Yeah. My heart is just pounding.
And
when you say Murder for Two, my heart starts to go crazy.
well, and you and Barney both accompany yourself.
Right. Yep.
And so that was it. Once that show started, you're on your own, you two.
Boy, that was it for what, about an hour and 40 minutes with no intermission.
Wow. So tell me, what was that like?
Wow, you directed it.
I know, but I don't play the piano or read music or had to memorize any lines. How was that to rehearse, other than your love for the director?
You know, I had a great director. No, you know what was so fun, Dan? So you and I enjoy so much of the same comedy. And that kind of comedy was already built into Murder for Two. You know, it was so sketch comedy driven. And it was so much fun working with you to figure out, like, oh, would this be funny? Would this be funny? There were only like 2 places, I think, in the whole script where we would just like scratch our heads and go, I don't know, try it this way. That didn't work. Try it. Well, go back and do. There were only like 2 places, but it was so fun to work on all of the bits and all of the comedy because there was so much in that show.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? Before we show a video, and I realized I meant to take a question from somebody. So let's interrupt ourselves with a question and see who is wondering what. This is from Suze Ruddick. When you do your tribute to Liberace, do you play the piano as he did? Has the style influenced how you play now?
Yes,
David?
and yes. That's a fantastic question. Yeah, I have to learn. So he didn't write out any of his music. There are no charts. There are no pages of notes that he ever wrote out. The way I learn his music is through listening and YouTube, and it's playing about 5 seconds and then going back and playing 5 seconds and learning it all by ear. There are also times where he has done tricks with his hands where I can't see it in a particular camera angle in like one of his shows. And then I'll watch another show of his and he's playing the same piece and maybe the camera is like over the piano. And then I go, oh, that's how he's doing it with his hands. So I do try to play everything. I try to come as close as I can to his style, and even, you know, with the hands flying off the piano. And yes, it has affected the way I play. And it's so funny, even like when I'm playing Chopin or Beethoven or something classical, I can feel like my hand. Yeah, it has. And I try to tone it down when I play classically, but of course people enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
So it's hard for me to go back to being subtle again. Was I ever subtle in the first place?
Nah, I don't think so. And so speaking of subtle, we're now going to jump over and take a look at some a video promo that we had made for Murder for Two. So people get. That was a funny show.
That revolving piano
Right.
that could go both directions. And you know what? One of the highlights for me for doing that show is to be backstage, and you were doing your cute little opening audience spiel. And
Bang.
and to know that Barney and I, only two actors, get to take on this entire stage. How often does that happen that only two people get to, and it was a big set, it was a big stage, and we just got that was our playground for an hour and 40 minutes. It was so enjoyable just to have that expanse of a stage to play on.
Yeah, good. Hey, so we have time for another song. So what have you in store for us?
Well, I want to do some Liberace. For those of you who don't know who Liberace is, I brought this. I brought it. I own it. I own the dumbest stuff now. No, this isn't dumb. This is actually given to me by Jillian Snow Harris. She found it down in Salem at a thrift store, I think for a little over $2. It's from the Liberace Museum from back in the day. It's probably worth about $150, but it's a collectible item. So I'm going to do his closing number, what he would do. I just want you to see that a little bit. It's not creepy at all. I want to play what he would close his shows with. I'll Be Seeing You, which I think is a really wonderful little song for right now as well. I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places that this heart of mine embraces all day through. In that small cafe, the park across the way, the children's carousel, the chestnut tree, the wishing well. I'll be seeing you in every lovely summer's day, in everything that's bright and gay. I'll always think of you this way. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you.
Wow, that's great. You're right. That's a beautiful anthem for these days. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
We're going to go to a couple of questions now before we head out. So let's see what inquiring minds want to know. And we have one from Elizabeth. How much do you practice per day or week?
Or how much should I be practicing per day per week?
We know how much you don't.
Yeah, right. Okay, here's what I try to do. I try to warm up for 20 minutes. I have a little warm up. I try to do, and then depending on how heavy my schedule is to learn music, I can go anywhere from 2 hours to 5 hours.
Wow.
I try not to go anywhere past that. I learned a trick from a piano teacher to only practice 20 minutes at a time. There's a danger to just going and going and going and going. You fry your brain, you fry your hands. And the idea is just to set a timer for 20 minutes. I think we could do this with anything, learning lines, practicing music. Just set a timer, go for 20 minutes. It makes you concentrate more. You go, I only have 20 minutes and then I'm going to take a break. It's a really good technique. So I would say, yeah, anywhere from 2 to 5 hours a day. Or sometimes I just do my 20-minute warm-up.
How about another question?
Yeah.
And Katrina Lynn, do you have any formal training or education in music? I'm sure that is no reflection on what she heard, but she was curious.
It's just that, do you even know what you're doing? No, I'm just kidding. Katrina, no. Yeah, I do. I have my bachelor's in piano performance.
Oh.
Uh,
From?
From the University of Wisconsin Superior. I was studying with a professor up there in high school, and then I ended up getting some scholarships to continue on. And I actually considered getting a master's and a doctorate, and I was just playing so much. I was already working, and I actually went to talk to someone. I'm like, yeah, I want to get my master's. And she's like, do you want to teach in a college? And I said, no. And she said, you're already out there playing? And I said, yeah. And she goes, what are you doing? Like, just you're already getting the gigs. Go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I do have that. It's classical training.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, so where can we find more music of you? Where can we? Is there websites? I know you have a Liberace website, so let everybody know where they can hear more of you.
It's funny because now I have two personalities, and I always have to think, okay, as me or as Liberace, because they both exist. For Liberace, you can go to www.liberaceandliza.com, where we have a lot of fun videos. You can get our newsletter. We're also as Liberace and Liza on Instagram and Facebook as Liberace and Liza. For me, it's funny, I should have a website. My own, but I have a Facebook page called Saffert Sans Sequins. Yeah, there it is. And I've been once a week posting videos of me right here at the piano, playing some ragtime and playing some Edith Piaf and some tango, and I'm going to keep doing stuff. But that's the page where I do stuff as myself.
Great, thank you. Hey. You know what? Thank you for being here with us live on Midday Cabaret. This is all new for us who do live theater. And so I really appreciate you taking the time out of your clearly busy day.
I got to walk the dog here in about 2 minutes. I'm glad this wrapped up.
Yeah. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you around.
Dan. Thank you, Dan and Sharon and everyone that helped. I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, folks, that is our show for today. We want to thank David Saffert, of course, for joining us. And next week, Wednesday at 1 o'clock here on Midday Cabaret, we'll be catching up with Morgan Hollingsworth. Now, Morgan Hollingsworth, many of you remember, just starred in our most recent production of Once. He played Guy, and he'll be coming to us live from New York. So we look forward to chatting and hearing Morgan Hollingsworth next week. So with that, please stay safe, be well, and I'll see you around the campus.